Hello. Hello. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays on a Thursday because yesterday life just happened. And so we roll with it over here and I had to make the best of it. I apologize for being late today. I was trying to go live on Facebook at the same time and it just wasn't working out for me. But hello, sorry that we couldn't do this yesterday. I was at the dealership all day trying to get my car fixed yesterday. So that's what was that. But today I wanted to talk about work-life balance, finding a work-life balance that works for you and why that's important as an entrepreneur. As business owners, we run our own businesses. There's no one telling us when it's time to get off of work, what our start time is. And so it can be really challenging to implement those things for ourselves. What we can find often is that we are always working. We're missing out on spending time with family and friends. We always feel like we have to chase the next client. And we're going into business for ourselves to build this life that we want, right? We want to make money so we can do all of these things that we can't do and we can have our own time and we don't have to work all the time. We can take off whenever we want. But oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we forget to do those things. And what often happens is that we work too much. We're leading ourselves to burnout and it can be stressful. Go back a couple of Wisdom Wednesday videos, watch the ones that I did on burnout and creating boundaries. But it's so important to have a work-life balance because without really like getting a chance to enjoy the things that we are working so hard for, it can make the work side of it feel like it's too much. And it can be that we don't want to do it anymore. I know plenty of entrepreneurs who are like, I don't like this anymore. I'm tired of it. I feel like I'm always working, and they stop. And that's not to say that when you have your own business, of course it's going to be hard work, but it doesn't have to be the only thing that you're doing. It's so important to take a step back and remember why you are doing these things. So I wanted to just talk about a couple of ways to create a better work-life balance when it comes to your business. Because like I said, I think it's important. Work-life balance is really important to me in my day job and in my business, which makes it even more important because I do a lot of different things. So like, for example, right now, I have my regular computer open right here. I have my work computer open right here. This is my day job computer. This one gets closed at 4 p.m. every day. At 4 p.m., that's it. I'm done with it. My work computer, I'm a little bit more flexible with it, but I tend to, I don't really work past like 7 really. Once it's bath time, bedtime routine, I'm not really working that much anymore. But I wanted to give you guys a couple of ways to let go of this feeling like we always have to work. Hustle culture, to me, is not a good thing because it's always trying to push us to work. It rewards people for always working in spite of the things like taking care of themselves and taking breaks. And I'm not for that over here. So number one, let's let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism a lot tends to always want to drive us. It drives us to push forward. It drives us sometimes to not start things or to keep working on things until we feel as if they are perfect. But of course, as your business grows, as you get deeper into your business, as your life, personal things start to expand as well, it can be hard to balance both of those things. And it can be hard to shift from one to the other because if you're feeling like either one isn't perfect, sometimes that can stop us from jumping into the personal side of things because it's like, oh, I have so much to do over there and I'm not going to get it right. So I just don't feel like dealing with it real now. Or you can do the opposite where you're like, oh, I really need to work on this project for a client, but I don't feel like it's perfect. I don't know if I can turn it in. So I'm just going to keep working on it. So to avoid burnout while you're working and to really create that balance, let go of trying to be perfect in both your personal life and in your work life. It's just not a realistic habit to have. It's not a realistic goal. It's not going to happen. Nobody's perfect. So get rid of those things. Don't worry about trying to be perfect. Instead, try to be healthier. Try to be a better version of yourself, both in work and in your personal life. But don't worry about whether or not you're creating something perfect or you're creating the perfect family life. Balance both equally and give them both equal weight. Number 2, unplug. As I say that while coming to you on an Instagram Live. unplug, put the phone away, turn the TV off. Creating this constant expectation of accessibility creates a really hard, it's hard for clients to then feel like you should have a balance. And it creates the expectation on ourselves that we always need to be available. That's not true. I have a Google Voice number for my business, and it's because I don't want to give clients my personal cell phone number, because then they feel like they can reach me all the time. Unplug. Don't create that vision or that version of accessibility, because you don't need to be constantly accessible at work. It's okay. When you're working, things can get done on your time. As long as you're managing expectations with your clients, it is fine to put it away, to not answer. And this also includes unplugging during important events or things that are happening in your life. So for example, Stokely is now starting back in soccer season. He started school today. He is going to be in gymnastics class every morning. When I'm at soccer practice, that's not really the time for me to be, sending emails about work things, because I want to be more engaged and more involved in what he's doing. That's my family time. That's me getting to spend time with my son. So in those moments, I'm not going to be working. As long as you are creating these expectations with your clients, they're going to expect you to be available. Instead, do the opposite. Set office hours. Let your clients know if they're texting you, I'm sorry, I don't perform business over text. Please email me. Put a thing in your email signature where it says, they can expect a response from you in 24 to 48 hours. So that way they know it's not going to be instant. I'm not at your beck and call. And that helps create that boundary between work and life. And it allows you to freely enjoy your personal life without feeling like work is going to start infringing on that. You hear me talk about this all the time when I talk about boundaries, when I talk about self-care, like I talked about last week. Exercise, meditate. Those are perfect examples to take time for yourself. Not only does it clear your head, it gives you time so that way you can focus on your personal life. You can organize in your head what needs to go on for the day. And it's really just about dedicating that time to yourself for self-care. Self-care is a way to create work-life balance. I talked about this a lot on the live last week about why self-care for entrepreneurs is important. Part of that work-life piece is also your life, not just your family, not just your friends, you personally. So take time to exercise, take time to meditate. That's going to create a balance in your life. It's going to leave you more centered. It's going to leave you with more energy to tackle whatever's going on in your personal life and to tackle whatever you have going on in your business. Just by taking that time for yourself, putting it on your schedule, blocking it off so people can't schedule meetings during that time, that's going to create a balance in your life. And I literally mean block it off in your time. Like, don't let people schedule time. If you know you have personal things that you're doing, if you know that you have something like exercise class every morning, block your calendar out for that. Don't let people schedule anything for that time. That's your time. That's your lifetime. That's not work time. So block off your schedule to allow time for your family, for you, and for your friends. Don't let your work infringe on that time. The next one is really important. Limit your time wasting activities and people. You don't have to say yes to every client. You don't have to say yes to every outside activity that you might want to do. It's okay to say no. You do not have to feel like your calendar needs to be booked up all the time, because a work-life balance means that sometimes you don't have anything to do, client or personal wise. It means that sometimes you don't have to deal with the people that aren't serving you or that are wasting your time. So limit those people and that activity from your life, in both work, in business, and personal life, and create a better balance. When we have activities or people in our lives that are wasting our time, it can make us feel as if we have too much to do, that they're just going to keep infringing on our time. They're going to keep asking for more. Trim down your schedule. You don't have to be involved in so many things. You don't have to fill up your client calendar every month. That goes into pricing, which I did a whole live on previously. Price your business in a way that you don't have to take on an excessive number of clients, so that way you are creating a better balance between work and personal life. And then, don't worry about trying to be everything for every client or every person. It's okay to turn off email notifications. It's okay to, have set admin officers, and that's the only time that you're replying to emails. So don't always feel like you have to have everything booked in personal or business life. It's okay to get rid of those things that aren't serving you. Next one, change the structure of your life. So when we work for ourselves, sometimes we think, if you've ever had a 9 to 5, you have to work in the morning and then you have evening, and then, you structure your day that way. You don't necessarily have to do that when you're working for yourself, but create a structure for your life that works for you. If you know that, you want to have family time in the morning, that's when you have to focus on getting kids out the door, getting breakfast, made and things like that. Then focus that time in the morning and don't work. Set your work hours for times where it's most conducive for you. Work with your partner or friends or family, so that way you have, dinner, is delivered, or you have a scheduled time for cooking. You don't have to structure your day in a way that's conventional, right? Structure it in a way that makes sense for your life and your business. And then time blocking is a thing. I think that, yes, your kids count in this category. I know it's hard when you have kids to kind of take care of the kids and the house and everything like that, and it doesn't leave a lot of time for everything else. My suggestion to that is, I will start off by saying, number one, it's a season of your life, right? When they're younger, it does take more time with them, and we have to work in a way that makes more sense for us. So sometimes when we have kids, that means that I'm going to get work for 2 hours done while they're napping, or, I'm going to work for, from 9 to 11 every night, because that's when I know I can get business done. But that also means setting up a structure that works for your life, right? And not sacrificing everything else because you have to get work done. That still means putting boundaries in place. That still means taking care of yourself. It doesn't mean that you're just going to keep working all night because that's the only time you have to work. Have a to-do list. I have a free checklist on my website about how to set your daily priorities. It works the same whether you're working in the day or working at night. Schedule the 3 things that you need to get done that day. And if that gets done between 9 and 12, cool. Everything else can kind of go to the wayside. So figure out a structure in a day that works best for you, works best for your family, for your life, and schedule it that way, while keeping in mind to make sure that you're scheduling time for yourself and you're scheduling what needs to happen in both personal and business life. I'm, like I said, I'm going to always keep saying this. I'm a big believer in scheduling our time on our calendars, blocking it off. It's important to do those things. Don't feel like every day you have to work, including the weekends, because you only have nap time or at night to work. You still deserve a break. You still deserve time for yourself. So make sure that you're taking that time. Your clients will be there. As long as you're managing expectations, then it'll be fine. And then last but not least, start with something small, right? A lot of times we dive right into trying to create the perfect work-life balance, and we're going to cut off all our clients at 4 o'clock every day. I'm turning the computer off. Start with something small. Start with something easy that that you can implement every day. Don't start with trying to drastically change the way that you're working, right? Don't try to go like, I'm working 60 hours on my business every week, I'm going to only work 20 hours. That's not going to happen. You're going to feel overwhelmed really quickly trying to get everything done in the amount of time that you have done. Instead, focus on something that you want to improve on. So for me, for example, my husband commented to me a couple of months ago that he always felt that I was working when he came home. And that I didn't have time, for him and I to spend together in evenings. So I made the one small change. For me, I know that comes 8 o'clock when he comes home, 9 o'clock when he gets home in the evening, my computer is going to get closed. I'm going to close my computer. I don't even want it to look like I'm working by the time he gets home. And that's a small change that I made that allowed me to have a better work-life balance, because I know I only have a certain amount of time once I put Sophie to sleep and once my husband gets home. If I want to crank out any last-minute pieces of work, that's when I'm going to do it. Come 8 o'clock, 8:30, computer's getting closed, and now it's family time. It's time for my husband and I. And so start with something small that you can control. Even if it's something like, I'm going to schedule 5 minutes in the morning to just have a coffee for myself before the day gets started, right? You're going to start with those little things that create a better balance. Maybe it's letting your client know, the one who's always texting you about work things, you know what, Julie, I'm going to have to take this. Can we put this in an email? I really want to just start creating better boundaries with my clients. Of course, I'm still available, but let's move this to emails because I'm going to check that, and I'll be more timely responding to you there. I really want to keep my text messaging for like personal matters, even if it's just starting slow like that and setting those small boundaries. That's a way that you can start to create that better work-life balance. It's so important as an entrepreneur to have that balance in your life. Hustle culture, I'm not here for it. You can check my IG feed from the post that I did yesterday. It rewards people that are always moving. It doesn't reward those who need rest. It doesn't reward those who take breaks. And that's essential when you have a business. Check the live from last week when I talked about self-care. If you are not having a good work-life balance, you're going to burn out in your business. You're going to get stressed out. You're going to want to stop your business, and it's not going to be fun anymore. And the way to keep that creativity flowing, the way to really have fun in your business and build the life that you want and actually enjoy the life that you're building through your business is by remembering that you have something else besides work. So make sure that you're taking time for your family, to enjoy your family time. Make sure that you're taking time for yourself. Make sure that you're taking time to spend with your friends. So that way you can come back to your work and you'll be more refreshed, it'll be more fun, and you'll actually enjoy what you're doing and you won't be on that path to burnout. So, all that being said, let me know how you create a work-life balance for you. I do things like take vacations. I close my computers every evening. I don't work 24/7. The weekends you will not find me working. Let me know how you create a work-life balance. I want to hear it in the comments. And then check back next week. So the topic for next week's Wednesday Wisdom will be about, what is next week? So next week's going to be all about the power of networking, and I'm really excited about that. I have some really good tips and tricks on how better to network, especially now in a much more virtual environment, to help grow your business. So make sure that you tune in next Wednesday for the next Wisdom Wednesday, and I'll see you guys later. Happy Thursday.